Have you ever encountered a discovery that doesn't just add a piece to the puzzle, but sort of rearranges the entire picture you thought you had?
Oh, definitely. It happens.
Well, that's precisely the kind of seismic shift we're diving into today. It comes from a remarkable paleontological find from a truly unexpected place. We're talking about Syriemys lelunensis. Now, that name might sound new, but it belongs to a 50-million-year-old fossil sea turtle, recently identified from Syria.
And it's not just any old shell.
No,
After-
exactly. This is a creature that's making scientists, rethink entire chapters of evolutionary history for one particular ancient lineage.
Right. So our mission here in this deep dive is to really unpack this incredible find. We need to understand not just what they found, but why it's so significant, for evolutionary history.
Yeah, the bigger picture.
Exactly. And we'll explore the broader context of its discovery, too. What does this ancient creature tell us about our world's past? And maybe even something about, human resilience in its present.
And we should mention, our insights today are drawn mainly from a recent SciTech Daily article. It details the scientific publication that really brought Syriemys lelunensis to light.
A great starting point.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Picture this.
Yeah.
It's 2010 near Afrin city in Syria at a quarry called Al-Zarafa.
Right.
And the origin story is almost, cinematic. Bone fragments, ancient ones scattered, were actually recovered during a quarry blast.
Wow, a blast.
Yeah. Think about that, just the raw power of human activity, accidentally unearthing this priceless piece of really deep time.
Incredible. A testament to life from, the Eocene?
Exactly. But here's where the story takes a fascinating turn. These fragments, this treasure from, the Eocene period, that warm time, maybe 50 million years ago when mammals were really taking off. They weren't immediately identified. They weren't studied right away. Instead, for 13 years.
13?
13 years. They just resided, quietly waiting in an office. The General Directorate of Geology and Mineral Resources in Aleppo.
Wow, 13 years is quite a wait. What typically causes such a long delay, especially, in a region with its own challenges? It sounds like a very slow treasure hunt.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, that's a great point. And it highlights these often unseen hurdles in paleontology. Delays like that, they can stem from all sorts of things. Lack of immediate expertise right there.
Sure, that makes sense.
Limited funding for research, which is always an issue, or just the sheer volume of material that's already waiting in collections everywhere.
Right, backlog.
Exactly. And in this specific case, this lost time was definitely made worse by the evolving political and humanitarian situation in Syria, which unfortunately disrupted a lot of scientific work.
Of course.
But what's really remarkable, I think, is that despite all that, the fragments were carefully preserved.
Yeah.
That's a real testament to the dedication of the people in Aleppo who saw they might be important.
Absolutely.
And that preservation ultimately led to the kind of international collaboration that's just so crucial in our field. This wasn't one person.
Right.
It was an international group, researchers from University of São Paulo, the Senckenberg Center in Tübingen, Germany, plus colleagues from Brazil, Syria, Germany, Lebanon, Canada, all converging to finally look at these fragments.
A real global effort.
Totally. And the lead author, Wafa Adel Al-Halabi, a Syrian-Brazilian paleontologist now at São Paulo, was key. She really bridged continents and cultures to unlock its secrets.
That's a powerful story of persistence, isn't it? And partnership. And what's really striking, beyond just the fossil itself, is that Syriemys lelunensis isn't just a new find.
No.
It's the very first fossil vertebrate species ever formally described from Syria. Think about that. An entire country's vertebrate fossil record basically stays here.
It's a huge aha moment on multiple levels.
What does that mean practically for science and for Syria?
Well, for Syria, it literally puts the country on the map for this kind of research. Before this, our understanding of ancient vertebrate life there was mostly, theoretical, based on geology, not actual fossils.
Right, educated guesses.
Exactly. This find validates those ideas and gives a solid anchor point. And for scientists globally, it opens up totally new ways to think about ancient ecosystems, biogeography, how species spread out over time and space and evolution in a region that was honestly largely a blank slate for vertebrate fossils until now.
It's like finding chapter 1 of a brand new book.
Precisely. An incredibly important work.
Okay, so that's the journey from quarry blast to global science and a national first. Let's dive into the specifics of Syriemys lelunensis itself. What does the fossil actually tell us?
Well, the fossil itself is actually remarkably preserved. It gives us a really detailed look at this ancient animal.
What parts do we have?
We have a fully preserved internal cast of the shell, so like an impression of the inside, along with parts of the ventral carapace, that's the top shell,
Got it.
and bits of its pelvis and hind limbs. The carapace, the shell, it measures about 53 centimeters long and 44 wide, so kind of an oval shape.
Okay, so medium-sized. You can almost picture it.
Yeah, you can really visualize this creature, probably quite similar to a modern sea turtle, swimming in those warm, ancient seas.
And the name, Syriemys, that's pretty clear once you break it down.
Yeah, it's a fitting tribute. It combines the Greek word for Syria, which is boudroa, Syria,
And turtle.
and turtle, emos. Simple, clear, a nod to its home and what it is.
Okay, but this leads to a crucial question.
Yeah.
How do scientists pinpoint these incredibly ancient dates? 50 million years ago, how do they know that precisely? It can't just be a guess.
No, absolutely not. The answer often lies in microscopic clues. In this case, to nail down that early Eocene age, roughly 50 million years, the researchers meticulously analyzed tiny things called foraminifera.
Foraminifera, okay.
Yeah, they're single-celled, shell-bearing protozoa. They extracted them from the rock layers right around the fossil.
So these tiny shells tell the time.
Basically, yes. These microscopic fossils are like incredibly precise time capsules. Different species of forams, as we call them, evolved, diversified, and went extinct at very specific, well-documented geological times.
Ah, I see.
So by identifying which species are present in the rock, paleontologists can accurately date those layers, and therefore the bigger fossils inside them, with remarkable resolution.
That's elegant, how the smallest things unlock these huge timescales.
It really is. It gives us a solid framework.
Okay, this is where the puzzle pieces really start to shift.
Yeah.
And the implications ripple out. Because this isn't just another old turtle find. It's presented as a game changer for evolutionary biology.
That's right. This is where it gets really exciting.
So what's the big deal?
Syriemys lelunensis provides the earliest known unequivocal evidence of a group called the Stereogenyini.
Stereogenyini, okay.
They're an extinct group of side-neck turtles. You know, turtles that took their heads in sideways, not straight back like most turtles today.
Right, I know the type.
Well, this discovery dramatically pushes their evolutionary history back by more than 10 million years.
Wow, 10 million years. That's a huge jump.
It's massive. To put that in perspective, it fundamentally recalibrates our understanding of when and how these ancient lines split off and evolved.
So it changes the whole timeline.
It really does.
Right.
Pushing it back by, a decade of millions of years makes us rethink how quickly lineages can diverge, what environmental pressures might have been at play early on. It even challenges some molecular clock estimates that rely on fossil dates. It's not just a number, it's a reevaluation of a big chunk of evolutionary history.
That's fascinating. It implies they had a much longer, maybe more complex history than we realized.
Yeah.
And this find also points to a really interesting habitat shift, doesn't it?
It does, and this is another key takeaway. Today, every single living member of that side-necked turtle family, they're all semi-aquatic freshwater turtles. Ponds, rivers, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But this ancient group, the extinct Stereogenyini, including Syriemys, they were different. They also lived in saltwater habitats. They were true sea turtles.
So they went from sea turtles to freshwater turtles over time, that lineage.
Exactly. It highlights this profound shift. It shows that what we see today isn't always how things were way back then.
What does that tell us about adaptability? Can lineages sort of reverse their path?
Well, this shift from saltwater to freshwater over millions of years is a really striking example of what we call evolutionary plasticity.
Plasticity, meaning flexibility.
Yeah, the incredible ability of a lineage to adapt, diversify, even completely change its ecological niche over deep time. It suggests these ancient turtles were remarkably flexible. They weren't locked into one environment from the start. It makes us reconsider the limits of adaptability. For some animals, moving from land to sea is the big evolutionary leap. For the Stereogenyini, it seems the journey from sea to freshwater, and maybe even back again sometimes in their history, was part of their story.
Interesting. Makes you wonder why their modern relatives ended up only in freshwater.
Exactly. What pressures or opportunities favored that shift back? We don't fully know yet.
And you mentioned their fossils are found pretty much worldwide, right? South America, North America, Caribbean, Africa, East Asia.
That's right, a really wide distribution.
So now, with Syriemys lelunensis, Syria adds a brand new dot on that global map. When you find a group in a totally new place like this, What questions immediately pop up for paleontologists? Does it make you rethink migration routes or land bridges?
Oh, absolutely. It throws open a whole host of new questions, which is what makes this field so exciting. The discovery in Syria provides clear indications of a possible origin for this specific group of sea turtles, the Stereogenyini, right there in the Mediterranean region.
An origin point in the Mediterranean.
It's a significant new hypothesis, yeah. It suggests this area might have been a crucial cradle for their early evolution, maybe instead of South America or Africa where other early fossils are known.
Oh,
It forces us to re-examine all the known Stereogenyini fossils through this new Mediterranean origin lens. It's definitely an aha moment, suggesting this region might have been way more important for ancient turtle diversification than we previously thought.
so how would you test that hypothesis? Look for older fossils there.
Precisely. We'd be looking for even older, or at least equally old, Stereogenyini fossils across the whole ancient Tethys Sea region. That's the ancient sea that became the Mediterranean, parts of the Middle East, North Africa. We'd target specific rock formations from the early Eocene, hoping for more clues about their very first appearance.
Incredible how one fossil can just spark this whole reevaluation. So let's tie this back to Syria's ancient geography. Why find a sea turtle in what's now, obviously, dry land?
Right. Well, to understand that, you have to picture a very different Earth. Present-day Syria, like much of the Middle East, was actually entirely covered by water for a vast stretch of time.
Covered by water. For how long?
Throughout the whole Cretaceous period and right up until the late Miocene, we're talking from about 145 million years ago down to around 5.3 million years ago.
Wow, that's a long time submerged.
A very long time. For much of that period, it was under the ancient Tethys Sea. So finding a sea turtle fossil there, it's not really a surprise geologically, but it powerfully paints that picture of a completely different landscape. Ancient, warm, shallow seas where there's now dry, often arid land. It's a stark reminder of how dynamic our planet's geography really is.
It really puts things in perspective. And this brings us to a more contemporary and maybe more sensitive aspect of this discovery. As the researchers themselves acknowledge, the current situation in Syria is, well, it's extremely complex.
Yes.
And considering the tragedies unfolding there, talking about ancient fossils can feel almost surreal.
It does. It really does. But at the same time, this publication, I think, powerfully illustrates the country's potential. And crucially, the fact that scientific inquiry, scientific discovery, it's still alive there, that's a potent message, isn't it?
It is. A message of hope, maybe?
Hope and resilience, I'd say. It shows that intellectual curiosity, the drive to understand our world, can persevere even when facing profound adversity. It's a testament to the human spirit refusing to be entirely consumed by the present, always looking to the past for understanding and hopefully to the future for progress.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the lead author, Wafa Adel Al-Halabi.
Yeah.
The research team is actually planning a series of articles titled Recovering Lost Time in Syria.
Yes, based on materials she observed and documented.
And that title has such a powerful double meaning, doesn't it? It's not just about Syria's deep geological past, bringing that hidden history to light.
Right.
It's also about, as they put it, the time when science in Syria was at a standstill because of the conflict. It feels like it's about bringing knowledge back into the light, both ancient knowledge and recent potential, and reclaiming a future for science from the region.
It's a really poignant mission statement woven into the science itself.
So, to sort of wrap up our deep dive here, we have this 50-million-year-old sea turtle from Syria, Syriemys lelunensis. It's emerged from the early Eocene to basically rewrite a key part of the history of side-necked turtles. This single fossil has pushed their timeline back over 10 million years, suggested a surprising Mediterranean origin for this ancient group, and shown us a fascinating habitat shift from saltwater to freshwater over deep time.
It really underscores how our understanding of life's evolution is always a work in progress, always subject to new finds.
Definitely.
And this deep dive, focusing on just one fossil found under difficult circumstances, it really reminds us that the Earth holds just countless stories waiting to be told, often in the most unexpected places. It encourages us all, I think, to question what we think we know, to embrace how science changes, and to consider the profound resilience not just of ancient life, but of human curiosity itself. It makes you wonder, what other lost times are waiting to be recovered? in overlooked corners of our world? And what will they reveal that could completely shift our understanding of life's grand narrative?
That's a truly thought-provoking question, and it really resonates with the whole spirit of scientific exploration, doesn't it?
It does.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the incredible journey of Syriemys lelunensis. Keep digging into knowledge, keep asking those big questions, and we'll see you next time.